Hello and good Woche to everyone. This learning session is devoted to all the wounded, all the families, all those that were captured by the Bnei Avila, the murderous representatives of this evil distillate called the Palestinian cause. Shem Yirachem. Bezat Hashem, it will be dedicated to the success of all the soldiers that are fighting there, the policemen, and everybody else. So we're starting with the story about the Baal Shem HaKadosh. Baal Semtov once traveled Motzei Shabbos and took three of his important students, David Mikolayev, David Circus, and David Lix. Havdil, Alexei, the driver that was, driving the horses, that we always did, the Baal Shem Tov set the wagon driver backwards. Facing his back facing the horses. And as usual, in one moment, they they traveled, Kvitza Sadera. And the second day, they were lost. They came into the middle of the forest. There's no road, there's no path. They hardly even saw daylight. I had no idea where they were. And the Baal Shem Tov himself had Sichos Haran. He did not understand what is going on. And then his Merchen left him completely. And was like one of the simple people. And that's the way it kept on going, another day and another day. They left Motzei Shabbos until they got to Friday, Erev Shabbos. The Baal Shem HaKadosh saw that, it's getting to be Erev Shabbos, had a great tsar, and while he was at, he fell asleep. They thought maybe in his dream, maybe Mishamayim, they'll reveal to him what to do. But the Hashem HaKadosh had woken up, and nothing was revealed to him. And they all were very distraught. In Chatzos Hayom, they saw a light from afar, and they were very, glad. Well, Hashem, Bezat Hashem, they're going to get to maybe at least they have a place where we're able to stay for Shabbos. And they go to the place where the light was there, and they saw there was a little cabin in the middle of the forest. And so they came to the house, and a very gruff, very coarse person, came standing barefoot. In Ukraine, it was very common for these kind of people to stand barefoot. And they asked him a question if it'll be possible for them to spend the Shabbos by him. So he answered, I don't want you, and I don't want your Shabbosim. I see by the looks of you that you are Hasidim and Magidim, and I hate people like you. Even my father and my grandfather also hated people like you. So just go ahead. I don't even want to look at your face. So they asked him, is there any, place where they can stay close by it? He can get to the evening. He says, the same time that they spent until they came there, this is how much time they have to spend to get back to a place of some kind of a residence. So they started begging him, just to let him spend Shabbos by him. They offered him much more money than usually was. And at the end, Come, he agreed. He says, but he made a few conditions. First, not to daven loud, because the goyim are coming to buy wine, and they will become scared and they'll run away. And secondly, daven quickly, because he's hungry and he has to eat early, both in the evening and in the morning. And also, he made a tnai that he shouldn't be too picky how, what's the hechsher, how kosher the food is, like, al pi chasidus, like the ways of the fools, he tells them. No, there's no choice. They agreed to the conditions, and they came in and they rested. So the Baal Semtov asked this person, is there a place that he can toivel? Maybe there's a river they can toivel. When the men heard that they want to toivel for Shabbos, he cursed them out. He says, this by him is a proof that they're thieves. And he wants to throw them and all their belongings out. Begging and pleading himself, they were able to convince him to prevent him from throwing them out. In the house, there's nothing. There's not a chair, not a table, not a benkel. Just 4 sticks stuck on the ground, a plank on it. They didn't see people and nothing, just a few empty rooms there. I haven't seen they didn't see anybody. They didn't see any goyim that are buying, they're buying liquor or anything. Nothing. Even animals they haven't seen. Not a cat, not a bird, nothing. They were very startled from this desolation that they saw. And he saw the day was settling. The person did not do anything to prepare for Shabbos. Just going from one corner to the next, eating a watermelon and whistling like the goyim do. Just before Shabbos, the man took a black cloth and put it on the quote-unquote table, and he put a black glob of some kind of mud or something, and put his finger on it, and put a little candle to lit it. They didn't see him davening mincha. He just started maybe Mekabel Shabbos, swelling up the words the way the ignorant people. And a few minutes, finished davening. So they had to finish davening together with him. That's the condition he made. After said so good Shabbos, he told them a bad year come upon you. So this is Shalom Aleichem, and he screamed at them. He screamed at them and cursed them out until they had to be quiet. Now he took a glass of beer, and he said they have to be mechaven to be yaitzer with his kiddush. So they begged him. They begged him to give him some wine, something that they will be able to be kiddush and they will pay him. And he did not want. They had to be yaitzer with his kiddush. Also, this kiddush, he jumped, swallowed some words, said the whole thing, didn't say the whole thing. He finished, drank almost the entire cup, then a few drops, just to taste. Then he put on a table one big loaf of, this coarse bread like they have, it's almost like gray. They asked Al-Fal Lechamishni, almost swallowed them up alive. Also in this bread, he didn't let them touch it. He says, you have filthy hands, he said. And he cut a few pieces of hamoitzi. He gave each one of them a slice. And then he brought in a bowl of something cooked from lentils or He gave him spoons. All everybody has to eat from the same bowl, and he ate together with him. Didn't give him any other food. Didn't sing his meal Shabbos, and didn't let them sing, and not even bench bezimun, nothing. They didn't even know. There was so like is it like Shabbos or Yom Chol? The next day, before daylight, they saw the person walk around naked, barefoot in the house, davening really, really quickly, swallowing up the words. And they jumped up and davened quickly. Again, they had to daven very quickly. And he was, pushing them more and more, causing them more and more Yisurim. After Mincha, they wanted to said, no way. You are, hedonists, you just ate, you want to eat, you just ate, you want to eat again. They had to eat the B'yotze Shalashuz and Divrei Torah. And he says, what is this that HaKadosh Baruch Hu did to us? And the Baal Semtov had no moichin, none. Had no idea, didn't know anything. Motzei Shabbos, again, he chepped with them, he needled them and cursed them until almost daylight. And when daylight came up, they davened nates and they wanted to travel, but the man closed the door and says, I prepared a meal for you now as well. So they said, we'll pay you for the meal. We don't want to eat, but we'll pay for the meal. So it became very angry, and he screamed at them, do you want me to take money for nothing? The kid said they had to eat with him. And again, he slowed them down, insulted them until the evening. At night, they were afraid to travel in such a forest at night. So they stayed sleeping there. Second day was the same thing, as would until the fourth day, till Wednesday. The fourth day, that person took everything they had for the food that they ate, and he sent them away. And when the men came out of the house, a door opened that they hadn't seen before. And a very wealthy woman came out, bejeweled. She came to Baal Shem HaKodesh. Rebbe, please, I want to ask you to stay with me, Shabbos Kodesh. Shem HaKodesh was amazed. First of all, how do you know that I'm a Rebbe? I said, if you knew that, this, why did you stir my Shabbos? Why did you disturb my Shabbos like this? Why didn't you come before? So the woman said, I was a maiden servant in your household. And I was an orphan without a father or a mother. And I had lice in my brain, in my head. And the Rebbetzin used to, scrape, clean my head and every Shabbos. And one time I screamed out loud and I didn't let her, scrape my head. And the Rebbetzin slapped my face. And the Rebbe was standing there, and it was you. You were sitting there, and you were quiet, didn't say anything. So Kodesh Baruch Hu became upset, kiviyachol, at you, and says, Almona v'yosim lo sanun, and your gzadin was that you'll lose your olam haba. He says, and when I married this man, this barefoot, was a big tzaddik, a tzaddik nistar, and we saw what was decreed upon you, Mishamayim, we davened to Kodesh Baruch Hu to forgive him. I call on Al-Tfilas that one Shabbos will be disturbed. But Shabbos is main Olam Haba. This will be the kapara of Baal Shem HaKodesh. When we saw there's nobody in the world that will spoil the Shabbos, we decided we ourselves will do it. And now the Baal Shem Tov's Chelik Olam Haba is assured again. At that time, the Baal Shem HaKodesh got all his moichin back. and he saw that everything the woman said was true. And he stayed with his Talmidim for the next Shabbos, and then they spent the Shabbos with Simcha, Tuv Lavav, Rav Kol, Mechadish with the Balabais, Chidush Torah, and after Shabbos, they left to their way in peace. Obviously, it is not possible to not see what this story has to do with what's going on now. You know, about 50 years ago, there was the Yom Kippur War, where a very similar kind of surprise and similar kind of smaller scale, but similar kind of devastation. I mean, now it's small scale. And the result of that war 50 years ago was to shake the Israeli society that until that time was smug, self-assured, absolutely certain that they were the bee's knees, as they say. That they were it, then they knew everything. And nobody will ever touch them. And Yiddishkeit wasn't even an option for anyone. Until that blow 50 years ago, that blew that concept of invincibility out of the window. That war shattered the foundation of everything. And as a result of that, the tshuva movement was able to start, was able to begin. We have been seeing, this dichotomy. There were people trying to daven on Yom Kippur, Tel Aviv. We all know what happened. We know all this smugness that people feel towards people of Shem Shabbos. All I can say is, B'ezrat Hashem, I hope that Baruch Hu will wake us up, will wake everybody up, that everybody will see that we are all one. We have no clue what is going on. We don't know why that which is happening is what's happening. B'ezrat Hashem, bevadai yakol otov, B'ezrat Hashem will bless everybody, all the soldiers that are fighting. Will keep all the captives that were taken into captivity, and all those who are wounded. Let's just take a look at Hashem in Sichos Haran for this week. And this is what Rabbeinu says. All these Torahs and all these Sichos, Rabbeinu was saying, is not just for us, in other words, for Ibn Nosson and his other Talmidim. The Torah says, those who are with us and those who are not with us. I'm seeing Rashi that those who are not with us means the future generations. And a few times we spoke to him about this, and he told us, he was miramis to us, let future generations know Maseh Hashem HaGodol that did with us. He says to your children, you should tell all the Torahs and all the Sichos and the Gewaldige Sichos, amazing Sichos, and the Maises, everything that he revealed to us. And he said this particular process with great enthusiasm. Vodatam levanecha, livnei vanecha. And he was the man shaking with awe and amazing Slavis, and he says, Vodatam levanecha, livnei vanecha. And he said, you should know and believe. If it's possible to take one person to take him out of the quagmire, anybody that will hold on to that person will be able to come out of the quagmire together with him. The nekuda is that there is no tachlis, there is no reason, there is no goal, there is no aim in the life of this world in and on itself. Thinking that there is any kind of goal to achieve in this world is pashta v'dazara. And achinami, we live in this world. We need to pay attention to that which we can sustain, that which we can keep up. We can't just, disassociate ourselves, each one according to where he's holding. We can't disassociate ourselves from this world completely, each one according to what he can. But this is because you can't do any better than that. Not because there's a tachlis in this world, but there's a goal in this world which is worthwhile. Nothing like that. Later, the past few weeks, we saw these people behaving as if they own the land. They own the country. Rishonim feel that they own the country, it belongs to them. There's a story about two people. They had an argument about they had backyards that were, adjoining one another, adjacent to one another. And they were arguing where does the border goes through. So at the end, they couldn't come to an agreement. So they went to the Rav. They asked him, my land goes up to here, this one up to here, where the border goes. So the Rav says, okay, I want to see let me see the area. They brought him over. Here, this is the land. This is my house. This is his house. This is my land. Come on, let's go here. Let's go here. So the Rav said, okay, I heard what you said, and I heard what you said, but now I want to hear what the earth, what the ground has to say. It's a weird thing. And the Rav put his head down, and he go, and he looks at them, and he said to them, the earth says as follows, this one says that I belong to him, and this one says that I belong to him. But the truth is that they both belong to me. People need to understand. We belong to Kodesh Baruch. Nobody is staying here. The main inyan is to use every opportunity that we have in this life for the best of our ability. Sometimes you can't do anything. Sometimes you are like, You don't have words that you can say. You don't have motion to learn. It feels like it's okay. As long as you realize that is the truth in life. Don't get all vain. Don't let the hubris go up to your mind and feel, I own this world. This is mine and this is mine. Nothing is yours. Baruch is giving it to you, is giving it to me in order for us to use it to the best of our ability to serve HaKadosh Baruch Hu. That's also the reason why he sent Rabbeinu to us. We have to cling to the tzaddik, because by getting close to the tzaddik, this is the nekuda, that's the highest level of coming close to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Above all the Torah and the mitzvahs is to cling to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Torah says, "Ladavka boy," to stick, to glue yourself to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, to connect to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, to be one with Him, to adhere to Him. The Gemara says, how can you possibly adhere to HaKadosh Baruch Hu? HaKadosh Baruch Hu is a consuming fire. But that's the one who is adhering himself, connecting to Talmidei Chachamim, the true tzaddikim. It's the only way you can come close to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. It's the only way that we can be mekayim the mitzvahs properly. By listening to what they say, by doing that which they told us. The more connected we are with them, the more connected we can be with the HaKadosh Baruch Hu. They are not, chas v'chalila, a reason in and on itself. Yes, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, but chas v'chalila, that's avodah zarah. That's pashut avodah zarah. The whole idea, ledavka b'talmidei chachamim, to glue yourself to talmidei chachamim, because that's the way that you glue yourself to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Because the talmidei chachamim, for you, are HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Kol ha'choylek al rabbi, anybody who is disputing his rabbi, kechoylek al hashchina, like somebody is disputing the Shechina. That's the main thing we need to ask. We have Baruch Hashem Teres Rabbeinu. It was obvious from the kind of hatred, the kind of insanity that was going on, especially in the past few weeks, when Jews were persecuted for keeping the mitzvahs of Judaism. Now this. Shem's Baruch should have Rachmanis, but Hashem have Rachmanis in all of us, and all of them, to wake up, that something will shake. Because when you actually pull, as Rabbeinu says, you pull someone from the mud, especially, us, who were pulled from the mud ourselves. I mean, you can come and think, like, how on earth can we possibly explain to them? They don't even know that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is doing it to them. They're thinking that, like, somebody was wrong, somebody fell asleep at the wheel, somebody whatever. Actually, HaKadosh Baruch Hu did that. You can persecute Jewish people for being Jewish in Eretz Yisrael. You can't do that. So how can you tell them now? Who will listen to you? The answer is, you don't need anybody to listen to you. You need to serve HaKadosh Baruch Hu your own way, the way that you do. You are already connected to a lot of different neshamas in there, in the mud, in the quagmire. Connect yourself to the tzaddik, and he pulls you out. He will pull them out, B'ezrat Hashem, as well. I want to send also from here regards. We have a friend in France, in Strasbourg, Victor Charvit. and he has been waiting to hear for an address that he's looking for. And the address is elect, ELECT 148 @gmail. Again, elect, ELECT 148 @gmail. You're welcome to create contact and join us with Hashem. Bezat Hashem will bench us with a good year, bracha ve'atzlacha, refuah, yeshuot b'kol yom b'gashmus b'ruchnis. Thank you so much, and I appreciate you coming here tonight. Now, about Monday, I'm not sure. I'm having a minor operation. Bezat Hashem will help. Bezat Hashem will see maybe we can do show Monday night as well. Hashem, if this is not possible, Bezat Hashem next time will be Wednesday. We also need to do, to settle a shir, the Sichos Haran, Bezat Hashem. We'll talk about it, in our group. Kol tov and a good vach, yeshuot, ve'refuot to Klal Yisrael.